Welcome to Lost Without Japan, a travel podcast about the life-changing experiences of exploring Japan and those moments we would be lost without. For your listening pleasure, allow me to introduce your very own Kanko Guido, Michael.
Welcome to our 14th episode of Good Times, where we truly catch up with one another. All of us are here together for this special episode, Maurice, David, and I. So go ahead and pull up a bar stool and join David, Maurice, and myself in Good Times in Hiroshima. We may have a venue change, within Hiroshima for us to be meeting up at. So I'll make sure to get that to you. That way we're not lost on the interwebs as we do so. Good Times has since, has closed, but the actual physical location, we bring it on in spirit. But my buddy has a new place, and I'm like, why not, gentlemen, keep the name Good Times, but let's name the gentleman's bar. Let's put Messiah's bar up. Let's give some free advertising and get him some people coming in. This wonderful episode, Good Times, is part of our Lost Without Japan series available on all major podcasting services. And as we pull up this bar stool, we've been prepping for this show together. So much copious work. I was totally not just typing up notes prior to us hitting record. But we weren't eating before coming in. We weren't, trying to get some coffee in ourselves. No, we're professionals. So we were fully prepped. But before we really kick things off and get going, I just want to make sure to do a quick reminder of Maple Lopo's Japanese Verb Pro Masterclass. Ladies, gentlemen, artist friends, Japanese lover friends, whatever. Try that again. Before we kick things off, I just want to do a quick reminder that the Japanese Verb Maple Lopo Masterclass is the discount and all of that is available till December 31st, 2025. And it is a huge discount from $200 down to like $60. Take advantage, my friends. I was talking to my friends that are doing that. Like I said, they were on, we interviewed, we did some stuff, help support a family within Japan, provide money for them to purchase things for their child. Don't have this child go without going into this holiday season. By investing in yourself, you're also helping feed a child. So please click that link that is in the show notes, maplelopo.com/lost hyphen without hyphen Japan. Again, I'll put it all in there, but take advantage of that discount, help them out. I don't get anything from it except for the satisfaction of trying to help my friends. Thank you so much. Today's episode is brought by this not very well known drink. Let me get this. There we go. For those of you that don't know this company, it's not very well known. It's part of, Mountain Dew. You may not have heard of that yet. It's an up and coming company. It's for those of us that would like something sweet but can't actually have sugar. Going with the zero sugar Mountain Dew. I would try it for there, but let's really for what the people have come for. David, Maurice, while I take a drink of this refreshing beverage, why don't you two gentlemen say hi?
Come on, then. How's it going?
It's going great, gentlemen. Going great. I'm just glad. I was like, it's been since April that we've been able to sit down together, all three of us. So I appreciate both of you setting aside some time. And both of us just want to be Maurice, David, myself. We have a million things going on. I'm so thankful to have all of us there, but we want to be respectful of everyone that's here's time and get going. So if it's a little bit rushed, my friends, bear with us. Join that Patreon. Give us the thousands and have us have some more time together. We could all take a step back. Keep it going. But David, Maurice, I just want to let you know that I've been a great friend to you, but sometimes I'm not a great friend to others. I've had a friend in Japan, Rock, had his first child born, and I'm trying to send him money, right? And I just don't want to send money, so I have a Cubs shirt. And so I went to the post office today. It took weeks to get my money from the bank because their call was going to my spam for my phone. So they were calling me. I was never getting it because it was like, saying that it was like a telemarketer call. So it was just being funneled into me never getting it. So when I finally called and said, "Hey, what's going on?" They're like, "We've been trying to get rid of, ahead of you, like, reaching you for like weeks." And when I looked into my voicemail, sure enough, in that deleted voicemails, there were calls coming from them. So I went today. So I just want to let everybody out there know you cannot send money to Japan through priority mail. It has to be registered mail or some other method, but you cannot do it by priority. It is not allowed. I can't, this just like makes no sense to me. So I can't send it priority mail where I have tracking and I want it to get there in just a couple of days because they've waited long enough for me to get my gift to them. But I can send it the slower method, registered mail, and fill out my custom things, and suddenly it becomes okay. How that makes sense? I don't know, gentlemen. I just want to give him, oh, I want to give the child is like 10,000, yen, money, the $100, and a Cubs shirt. Why is this so hard? What do you gentlemen think?
Well, I believe, I think it's an inside job. Someone's trying to intercept the money. So, um, yeah, I don't know why. Seems like to be a pain in the ass
Yeah,
to get the money to them.
Whenever I was working on my last project and I was sending money to people ahead of time, so I signed up for Wise. Have you ever tried that?
I don't even know what it is, my friend.
Yeah, Wise is a platform similar to PayPal,
Okay.
but a lot of people in Japan don't have PayPal. It's not widely used there, but Wise apparently is, and it transfers money in seconds, and the fees are not much. For 10,000 yen, maybe the fee might have been like $2, if that. So just something to look into if this person or the people that you want to send money to also have it as well, because I've run into my fair share of issues where it's like trying to find a platform that Japanese people use that's also valid in America and vice versa. And Wise was the one that we landed on.
Okay.
And then just shipping stuff to Japan from the States.
$50. It's
Yeah,
like basically
takes
it's
too
like
long.
$58
Yep.
to have this, and it's like that's basically $58 is basically 10,000 yen, man.
Yeah, yeah,
You
it's
you
ridiculous. I think
you know?
I have a friend that though she's since returned to Belgium because that's where she's from, but she was living in Japan for a while, and one of the things that she lamented was that the cheese in Japan is not like Kraft macaroni and cheese or Velveeta or
Oh,
whatever.
I'm a connoisseur of 5 things, my friend. Don't you forget it. That when it's neon, you know it's organic.
Ultra processed. So Japan doesn't have that stuff. But if the weight of the packet of cheese product is heavy. And I remember I sent her a few boxes of that stuff, and to ship the box of Velveeta and gummy bears and stuff was $148, because
Yucks.
it was just ridiculous, and it took, like, 3 weeks.
You know,
So,
this is
care
why I
packages to
This is why
Japan.
that's why I like getting together with you gentlemen, man, because, like, now I'm just gonna reach out to Rock and be like, "Hey, I'm a horrible friend. It's taken this long. Do you have Wise? And if you
Yes.
do, can I just send you the money, and then the 10,000 yen is just gonna go into my travel wallet, and forget about it." You know what I mean? Like, or it's gonna go towards my son who doesn't listen to the episodes, so he won't know that I'm just taking money that was going to go to somebody else to give to him for Christmas. So hey, that's all good. So that's fabulous. I'm going to reach out to him. Maybe I can still mail that Cub shirt or something like that. I don't know. I don't know. It's just so poorly planned. I meant to do so much, and life goes quick. And suddenly it was August that he's born, and it's slightly later than that.
Better late than never.
S so,
Right, he's still
yeah,
gonna appreciate it.
yeah, the kid's gonna have keys by the time this happens. So, thank you, though. Thank you, gentlemen. I don't wanna keep on rambling on myself. David, Maurice, do you have anything, gentlemen, that you wanna share? Otherwise, I'm gonna start rabbit holing down digital movies about to release from Japan from a director, and I don't want to just take everyone's time for things. Besides David flexing on some sort of winning of games, matches, card games, whatever, or Maurice just flexing, his photography and creativeness. Gentlemen, go ahead. The people come for you.
Get out of here.
Three. What do you call not secondary, but what is three-ary? But yeah, go ahead, gentlemen.
All I've got is, I recently had a photo exhibit that just ended, I think a week ago, and it started, gosh, the beginning of October, I want to say. I don't remember exactly, but it was a lot of fun, a really unique experience. And this one was it was a collaborative effort between myself and another artist. So it was stuff that I made in the States. And it was really interesting because, I'm there at the gallery and people are buying stuff. And I remember, someone came up to me and they're like, "Oh, you're the Japan guy, right?" And I'm like, "Oh no," you know. And I said, "If you're talking about the Akiko show that was in March, yeah, that's me." They're like, "Oh, okay." And they're like look around the gallery and they're like, "Where's the Japan stuff?" And I said, "This exhibit isn't about Japan." They're like, "Oh, well, when is there gonna be more Japan stuff?" And I'm like, you know, geez, like, uh, it's cool that people resonate with that, It's really, really cool. But I don't wanna be known as a Japan guy because, like, I wanna do other stuff, But
Yeah, definitely.
it
That'll be
it's
my mantle.
interesting
That's my
to
mantle, Maurice.
but it's interesting to listen to, like, the audience and people and how it was still on people's minds, something that I did over, like, 6 months ago. That was really cool, to hear about, and just how many people that you wouldn't expect that their interests lie in Japan, that there's something there for them that they cling to and they wanna see more of. So, it's interesting, and I spoke with a good friend of mine and how, like, I had actually gone to Japan in September and made another project, but it's not debuting until next year. And they're like, "Well, now it's gonna look like you like caved. It's gonna look like you're playing to the gallery. Like people asked for Japan stuff, and then you scrambled and did Japan stuff." And that's not the case. I'd already made it, but it's interesting that how quickly the Japan thing really starts to kind of like hone in on you,
Yeah.
and that's been very, very interesting navigating that.
What about you, David? I know, you had gone maybe recently to a tourney. Limo picked you up, or is that coming up still for you for, for cards and things like that?
Yeah, so you must probably talking about the regionals that for Gundam that are happening in Melbourne. I believe in 3 weeks from now.
3
So
weeks.
3
Okay,
weeks.
okay.
So
Um,
so I've just been just pretty much trying out different because set two's released. I don't know, maybe a month from now. So we're just working out what works. Um, yeah, so just trying different deck builds. And just finding out what works because yeah, I believe I might have a good chance of uh taking out maybe top 32 or 62 out of the regionals. And if I do better than that, then that's awesome. But yeah, it's just locals and just doing the like a new type challenge that's coming up. I believe next week. So that's like a slightly higher up than locals. Um, so it's like if you win that, you get like I don't know, like a $400 card. So maybe even less or more, not sure. So yeah, I'm just cruising along, working, my daily, my normal job. So and just cruising on. At the moment, there's no big plans.
So let
So
me ask you a question. So you're not like just good at this game. You're like good.
yeah, so I got better at it. So I dropped One Piece. So I just to kind of focus on Gundam because I realized that it's a new card game. So there's you're pretty much up to date with anything new that comes out. And I don't know, it's just something that I've picked up more. A lot of people, or some people say, like, really depending who you're talking to, really say that Gundam's slightly harder because I'm assuming it's just the exchange system of maybe like per turn, and you have to really map out what to attack and what not to attack, and just all this kind of bits and pieces. So, but I believe One Piece is slightly harder, but who knows? But yeah. So definitely doing a lot better than Gundam than One Piece. So I'm just sticking to that.
Liking
As
my
far
man.
as like people who are playing it, are there more people playing Gundam or more people playing One Piece?
I'd say at this point, One Piece, since being like I don't know, more of well-known IP, I would say in the West, um, there's more people playing One Piece at the moment. But Gundam has had a popularity that's they thought it wasn't going to do too well, but they've it's exceeded expectations. So there's a little bit more demand for it. So, but like in my locals, let's say on the biggest day of the week, um, there will be about I don't know 16 to 20 people. So it's a good turnout. Um, so yeah,
That's very
considering
cool.
like maybe there'll be about 22 people on um like one piece at the same place that I go to. Yeah, so I would say yeah, it's there's a fair bit of players. Um, so and it's yet to get bigger. It's been out for like 6 months at the moment. So
That's very cool.
Like my man. And both of you have been to Japan. Maurice, shooting some photos. David going to not just Japan, but also Korea. And he went to the World's Fair Expo that was in Osaka, survived a spider epidemic, poisonous spider epidemic that was there that he didn't know about. But that just goes to show that when you're from where you are, those things don't matter. Like, hey, what's that? It's a poisonous spider. Doesn't matter. But yeah, yeah. I was glad, for that. And I'm you know, nothing's as exciting, gentlemen. I'm just doing those 2 weeks of show, getting it out, and be happy to put this one out. We have a gentleman that was just on recently that did an air show in Japan as part of the Air Force. He'll join us for a Good Times episode as well. And I have another gentleman that I had on that's West Coast based, and he, kind of doing tour packages. But he said recently that the travel market to Japan, as far as guided tours from, let's say, the US heading to Japan, is really inundated with a lot of people trying to do that. So it's really hard right now to make any money off it, especially if you don't live in Japan, right? That part of your cost is going to be airfare and going there and things like that. So he's in the past had some sort of guided tours that you can have that's I'm not doing it justice, but I'd say like the closest thing to kind of a slideshow type thing. But he did like Hokkaido, he did like different things like that. But you could actually go to him and say, hey, this is where I want to go, and he'll lay out exactly where you're staying, how to get there, what you need to do to get to the different places you want to see, and kind of lay out a day that you have a guided tour without the actual guide, and can still plan something for you with huge savings and things. But we're going to have some other guests on here, and why not? Why not, my friends? Have more people that want to geek out about Japan. They were saying how like whenever he plays video games with friends, they're like, "Why do you sound so good?" And he's like, "Yeah, I was on this podcast about Japan, and I went all out on my microphone, just like." So I'm just like, "Yeah." They're like, Let's get you back on." But my thing that I had is I've been trying to push on that creativity front. I've been out shooting some photos that I don't and won't share anytime in the near future, but I'm out and doing it. And I'm happy to be doing that. David got my idea of a book that I would like to do, but I need to do it now so that when I get to Japan with my daughter, that I can have some of that time, be doing what I need to begin it, and then plan a trip that's after that to kind of bring it all together. But I've been trying to, consume some Japanese media, some movies and things. And one that I found was a couple different movies, and there's an actor, and I apologize on the name, but it's Masayuki So, and a couple different movies. One of them is Sumo Do, Sumo Don't, which was from '92. Shall We Dance, which was remade in the US from '96. And then one other one that I'm just blanking on, but I've pre-ordered all three. Sumo Do, Sumo Don't looks fantastic. It's a comedy about someone that's basically thrown in. I feel like I would love for us to watch that together before coming on, because I think, I believe, it comes out on the 15th of this month, so tomorrow or sometime soon. But I'd love to be able to watch that, and you can lambast me for it being horrible if it is, indeed so. But it doesn't look to be that way. So I've never seen anything by this gentleman before, and I didn't know that Shall We Dance was the one that was here with like Richard Gere, I believe, was not just an original movie, but what is these days, right? But all of them are highly rated and just look to be a lot of fun. So that's kind of with me because at night I've been trying to work on the podcast, trying to do stuff for school, and my time to do all of this is just so limited. I've been working on day trip things for Tokyo to try to get that episode out. So, like, I just like having things on in the background as I'm trying to do something. And I stumbled across these movies, my friends. Besides Battle Royale's 4K release, which is $80 or something like that, close to it. And they say it comes with a t-shirt, but I'm pretty sure the t-shirt would fit my son. I mean, that's about it. And he's like not even a large, for t-shirt size. So I'm pretty sure I wouldn't. So I'm not going to spend $80 on it. I'll wait for it to come out, physically for 4K. But you gentlemen found anything, movie wise, things wise, anything like that has any, twist of Japan to it?
There's one, but I should have I have it written down somewhere, but I have to dig through my because I'll go through like on Instagram and I'll find some really cool stuff and I'll save them in a file. Yeah, but that is the little folder of it's completely packed full of stuff, so I have to kind of go through. So,
Well, while he does
Maurice,
that, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, while you do that, there was recently a 4K re-release of Perfect Blue, and they played
Yes.
it in theaters around here, and I went to that, and it was super dope. And it was really interesting because I think that I also saw it in theaters like a decade ago
Yes,
when it
yes,
came out in
yes.
theaters, and I had to drive to a different city both times ago. What was interesting, because if anyone knows about Perfect Blue, it's 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 got
Yep.
a feel to it. It's got a feel
Yes.
to it, and the crowd this time around was much more varied than the last time. And I think that that speaks to the testament to the increased sort of like proliferation of anime in America as far as like mature content, not just anime series or like the typical stuff, but the more adult oriented dramas made for adults, like, serious content. Um and that was cool to see that the audience had expanded to be a bit more varied and wide, and more people in general, and that was very, very cool to see. And then I also pre-ordered that 4K that's coming out, and it was like $85 or something like that. That was ridiculous, but I gotta have it, so it is what it is. We gotta take our licks, but yeah, that movie's a big inspiration to me, and Satoshi Kon just in general. And so if anyone has seen any of Satoshi Kon's stuff, or hasn't seen it, I definitely recommend it. Perfect Blue, Paprika, Paranoia Agent, Millennium Actress, just wonderful, wonderful content. Tokyo Godfathers, please go watch any of his stuff. It doesn't matter where you start, it's all very, very good.
That and like the Yakuza 3 remastering that's going to be coming out on Switch and PlayStation. That I've not pre-ordered yet, and I'm kind of going back and forth. Do I want it on Switch, you know, to play with the possibility of being able to play on a plane, or do I want it just to continue with PlayStation, which I have like everything else on? That's like, kind of here nor there, like, but it's like, but it is. It's like, where do I want to spend it? I can't do both.
Mhm.
So, like, cause it's not gonna be on sale on Nintendo, like of any drastic sale to where PlayStation does get that eventual, like, drop of pricing. So maybe that's already answered my question. Just get it on Nintendo and then like, end up elsewhere for it. I like that. I like that. But yeah, my friends, was saying with Instagram too, as David mentions that, I just want to say there's really been a push to be active on Instagram and do it daily. I've been daily for a while and have finally hit a point of, hey, Maurice, I can send you that link. Would you
It's
like
too
me to
late
send it
now.
now? Seriously, start it, man. I was like, yeah, sure. Sure, buddy. I can send that link. you got to scroll quite up at our yeah, our messages together to get to that now. But yeah, we've been doing daily posts and things, trying to be more active, have some pictures and things on there. And we've gone from, I think it was like 230 something, maybe 239. I was stuck on like 240 up to 433. Been paying to promote some things to try to see if that ends up, carrying over to more listeners. Because I know you, like you were saying, Maurice, like where you have the people that are your Japan, content, pictures and things versus you, the photographer. And I don't know, how that Instagram audience versus podcast audience, how that's going to end up carrying over. But I want to do something because, with my listeners and things, I'm pretty steady, like with the number of downloads and things that I have. And the only way I can try to get that to be more is, I guess, put that effort out, and
No,
try to, do
and
more.
here's the thing, I believe that that investment is worth it because at the end of the day, you need to get your content in front of eyes. People that are unaware of what you're doing because just like you said, your friend mentioned, like, the market for the Japan stuff, I think across the board is inundated. There's a lot of people trying to do it, and I think when it comes down to just visibility and just awareness on your part, getting in front of those people, not just once, but a few times before it really settles in is extremely important. I don't know what your budget is, but I've seen your numbers increase as far as like your Instagram followers, and I commend you on that. And I would love to hear about your results as well because everyone on socials has to be multi-platform. You can't just
Yes,
be Facebook, you can't just be Instagram, you can't just be
Definitely.
podcasts or this. You have to be across the board, Twitter, whatever. And they want you to have a different approach for each platform, but that's a lot of work,
it
you know.
is.
And
It is.
if you're doing it yourself, I could see how it would be easy to kinda get overwhelmed, so I would love to hear how your metrics shift and grow if the Instagram does translate to not just increase viewership or increase followers on Instagram, it also translates to the podcast listeners. Because if that's what happens, it's absolutely worth it.
Oh, 100%.
So I would love to circle back with this after some time to hear about that because it's a part of it. Growth is inevitable, if not required. So I think that I'm very, very proud of you for doing that, taking that leap and an investment in the project because it deserves it. The content is good enough, right? And I have some friends, especially in the art space now, since I'm delving into that more. A lot of people really firmly believe that the time of organic discovery is over. They literally believe like the chance that
You
you
can't
just
find
drop
it.
it on the internet and just hope that it finds its audience, they're like, "That's not happening." Um, Especially if you're not part of some, like, umbrella or an IP that they already have an attachment to. If it's just you separate with something a brand new idea, even though you've been doing this for a while, you're not attached to a bigger umbrella or a bigger corporation, that organic flow is just not going to happen, right? So, you have to put it in front of people's face, and the fact that you're doing that, I think is very, very cool, and I think that not only are you putting it in front of people's faces, you what's cool about this, and I'm sorry I'm rambling
No,
about this
no, no,
because I
no,
love
it's
this stuff. You're putting it in front of their face, and not only are they new to it, you have a backlog of content that they can discover. Like, it's not like you're a new podcast and there's, like, 2 episodes, right? You have years of content that new viewers can dig into and get attached to and really get a feel for what you do. So it's like when you find your people and they're like, "Oh, wow, I really like what this guy's doing," they'll have a better idea of what it means to stick around in the future because you've been doing it so long. I think that's really, really to your advantage. And I think that you'll see the numbers. I don't know how much, but I think that you will get some like solid, like your people out of this.
Yeah, because I was hoping, I was telling David, as like one of the things too, like I'd like to get to where we could go live. And on Instagram now, it used to be able to go live. Anybody could go live, right? But I know that that impacted their network and quality and things like that. So now you have to have 1,000 followers to be able to go live. And that whole purpose was that they could keep the quality up for those that are, a part of it and things like that. And I would love to have it just be like a good time episode like us right now, and have that be something that is just live on the grams and kind of pull some people that way too. And I think you're right, Maurice. Like if you're not paying whatever it is that you're paying to try to promote what you're doing, you're not going to hit anybody. I mean, like you're really not, because or you're stuck with who you have, and then it's hard even like when people are following. Some people are following, thousands of people for the you follow, but like what do you see? And even people that I do want to see, like it's hard to see them
Mm.
unless you're putting in the effort to like see what they're doing and things. But yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, because I find that that's how, because let's say, like, my Instagram, like, the people that I follow, I try to, because sometimes I lose interest in people that like, follow, then I unfollow them, so to keep more relevant stuff in my face that I do wanna see. Because yeah, but yeah, sorry.
No, no, you're good, man, and it is, and that's a struggle just because it's like I wanna help promote people and, people that are, with me or, like, the people that I'm gonna have on future for, interviews so I can see what they're doing and know what they're about before they come on or continue to promote them after they're on, and, yeah, like I said, it is. It's just it's a whole different thing, but, like I said, if it's gonna be for something, it's not gonna be for lack of effort, you know? Like, for it's here, so here's our link, gentlemen. I just sent it to you on our grams, but it is a Life Shield container, and like in areas where they experience like a lot of high attacks. But this structure can help you deal with up to a 3-day bear siege, almost like a zombie. Like thinks it's here. So it's like, but I guess in some areas of Japan, how much of this is, for the news article and how much is real, probably somewhere between. But it says that some areas bears attacks have gotten so bad that mail deliveries are being disrupted. I mean, even some ground defense forces have been enlisted to help out at different times that are there. So having something that could be of a military grade equipment or things here, but it's like, "Hey, I get it. It's something maybe I'd want too." I don't know if they have internet connection. But hey, strong enough to, withstand those attacks at least for 3 days, and make it bearable, for you while you're in there.
I see
Wah,
what you did there.
wah.
You're welcome. That was free. But they have a solar energy system. They've got USB outlets. They've got a toilet. They've got ventilation. All of that is standard, but you can upgrade it with motion infrared sensors, flashing strobe lights, and even a public address microphone to try to scare the bear off.
Jeez.
You
How many
know,
bears do you think you would need to have to, like, penetrate this, container? 'Cause by the looks of it, like, heaps.
I know. I know. I mean, like, you could sell this as a zombie bear thing and get, twice the amount of things, that's, it's pretty cool. Pretty
Funny.
cool.
It's really, really funny.
I liked it. I liked it. And then one is here. So they have in Japan, there's apparently a Christmas stolen. And I don't even know what a stolen is, but they have, your festive holiday drinks and things like that. But it says that the colorful festive goods and tasty drinks, and it is a food offering that tends to be overlooked is the stolen, which is a traditional German Christmas bread. They say it may not be your first choice of going into a Starbucks in Japan, and it wouldn't be for me because it was always the matcha, like scone, was my go-to. But they ended up adding some pink corduroy material to give it kind of a sophisticated look. Has some embroidery, has the logo, and then within, oh, I've seen this before. I just didn't know what it was called. It's that what to me looks like a cookie with the powdered, sugar and things that's over it. That can be warmed up. Pricing of around 2,350 yen or 15 $16 US. So those of you within Japan, write the show. Let me know what it's about. I greatly appreciate that. And we may have some listeners that are strictly just good time episode listeners when they come in. I want to tell you right now, gentlemen, I've been adding to my three different transit cards I have, my Suica, my, and others that are there. And I have been adding 3,000 yen to them, just trying to get them to where I can max them all up. I'm far from that yet, but I'm like, you begin that whole, process. Cause I've got the Passmo, the Icoca, but I put in 3,000 yen and it was less than $20 US to do so, Maurice, which is crazy to me. That, for 20 bucks, I'm getting the equivalent of like $30. And as you can only get it up to 200 bucks, the equivalent of 200 bucks for each card, that's pretty good. But
I've
then,
heard that they're
you
gonna be
know,
increasing that. So
are they going to be the cost to do so or what?
the limit on the cards, they're gonna increase it.
That would be amazing, Maurice.
Yeah. Have you heard that as well, David?
I know I have not looked into it, so
Alright, let me
That's
let me find a link and then I'll send it
because
to
that's
both of
why
you
I,
guys.
I have like three cards so I could have $600. But like,
Yeah, that's what I do.
yeah, like the Icoca is not good everywhere.
Mhm.
And your Passmo is like, more, but still not everywhere. And it's really like it depends on where you are in Japan. But man, if I could have more than $200 on there, it becomes monopoly money and free money, David. But if you are, it's like it doesn't count. I'm just like, sure, I'll pay. It's not real. Like it's on my phone. That doesn't count. Uh,
mhm.
but I wanted to say that if you are US based and you only listen to the Good Time episodes, is that if you go to put money into it, it needs to be a MasterCard or like I've heard American Express. But if it's not working and you're like me, that's like, hey, I've been able to put money on this before. What's going on? Um, Japan's systems aren't 24/7. So you have to be adding money to those cards and when you're doing it electronically when they're open. So if it's not going through, check the time because most likely it's when they're closed. Yeah, and it's just so funny to think that you have like an electronic service that just isn't open 24/7. But, hey, that's Japan. So I was going to add for my daughter Addison, her birthday is going to be coming up in January. They're going to be 18. I was going to like try to add that Suka card, but like, man, if that is indeed something that is fantastic. I've been paying off my teeth. I want to get there, get back and have those things. And I feel like come January, I can finally start adding some money back in again to travel funds and things to get out that way.
Do you know what's crazy? I'm not sure if you know, but uh, I've just recently had my hot water system blow up, so I'm in the same boat now.
It's not, man, it's more expensive than what you think it is. You'd think like how much can be that tank be? Like when it with the installation, it can be it can be a lot. It's crazy
Yeah,
how expensive that is.
it was like in Australian dollars, 3,585 or about that.
Oof.
We did get a tap uh, added to it, but um, yeah, no, that was a little bit of a surprise. So I was like, damn, the next Japan trip has to wait a little bit. So 'cause
And
that actually came out of the funds for that. So
Oof.
yeah, like that on there. Did you find it, Maurice, or are you still looking?
I'm still looking. I'm seeing
Okay,
things on Facebook. They're saying that it's gonna go from a 20,000 yen limit, to a 300,000 yen limit in the fall of 2026.
okay. And then also in so that's good. I mean, like an extra $100,
No,
equivalent.
300,000.
Oh wow,
So
that's
that's around $2,000 USD.
jeez.
I won't be filling that, but I can add more. I can add more. That's good to know.
'Cause I
Yeah, yeah, that's
there's a here's a news report, but it's in Japanese, so I don't know if
I wonder
the
if like Passimo and the others would do because I would love it to be like for the Suica, like, if I could have 400 bucks on there, not thousands, but even 400 bucks, like if you could just keep on adding money to it, it's you can't spend it. So it doesn't go away. But in the realm of the Suica card, no more penguin. No more penguin mascot. I know
I
I
Mhm.
saw
messaged
that.
both of you
That's
and
crazy.
that was on the it was also on the Sora news too. That apparently, though, that it's only been since like the 2001, like when they kind of introduced it and things like that. So they've been around, um, for a while. But I just makes me wonder: are they just going to stick with the logo? But
Yeah, I
they,
was
I
going to
guess,
say, what is
apparent.
the
Oh,
replacement?
right here, Maurice. It also says in this article, to the 300,000 yen, so $2,000, far beyond what it is. And it's also looking for you to be able to transfer funds directly from your bank account into that. And I'm assuming you'd have to be in Japan to do that, but maybe not. But they want to, part of that switch in getting rid of the penguin is to show that they are doing even more with that. So that's why, my friend, it's that they want to show that you can have more than $200 on their card. 2000, that's a huge, that's a huge increase in time, but it makes sense. It really does because it's so much more convenient to
Yeah,
go
because
that way.
it gets if you're shopping, like, if you're doing any kind of shopping, that 20,000 yen, you blow through that immediately.
You
Mhm.
do,
That's a couple of dinners, and you've already blown through that, um, so if
and
you're
it'd be
trying to avoid the constant foreign transaction fees, if that's an issue for you, because I know my Mastercards, they do charge foreign transaction fees, but my United Chase card doesn't, but I can't use my United Chase card to load up my Suica. I have to use my Mastercards. So each time I did it, it's like foreign transaction, foreign transaction.
and
So
I it's huge, but I'd love to be able, because like, I've been looking at some lenses, and one of the lenses I was looking at, it's like around 500 bucks right now
mhm.
for here, but I mean, I'd love to be able to buy something there and then, like, just bring it back, but having the money on the Suica card to go do that, I'm like you're saying, that'd be huge. That'd be huge. Just
Yes,
walk up
yes.
and go,
It would be so cool to
"Ah,"
kind of handle that. You know, like I said, even if you don't put $2,000 on there, like putting 500, 600, 700 bucks really does make it so much easier. You're not constantly doing that, because one day of shopping, you're gonna blow through. Because 20,000 yen here, USD is like 130 bucks, 140 bucks.
it's nothing. Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's nothing. It's nothing. So you'll blow through that right quickly. So I think that's great news, but it's not for another year. So that sucks. But better late than never.
No, that's it. Shoot, I hope the others, maybe, I'm wondering if, Pasmo or the Cokas and things might follow. Because I do, because because in Hiroshima, that's mainly when I used my Akoka card. But I know you can use like Suka as well. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, like JR West, it's here. Like I said, I kind of have it. It'd be nice. I just have those for both. But man, that would be huge, gentlemen. Maybe it'll be nationwide. Just pay for my hotels. You
And I,
know,
I think it's also with that increase, it's also pretty cool that if you have an iPhone, you can add it digitally. Like I know a friend of mine, because I buy comic books too, because I'm kind of a nerd about that stuff. Um, and because people know that I go to Japan a good bit, someone was like, "Well, what's your one piece of advice for someone like me who's going for the first time?" And I said, "Do you have an iPhone?" And they said, "Yeah." And I
that
said,
card,
"You
yeah,
need
man.
to add a Suica transit card
Yep.
to your iPhone right now. You can do it here. You can add the money up right now." And I said, "It'll save you so much time when you're out and about and you need to re-up and you don't have to like, find a recharge spot or dig through your a cheap recharge spot that takes coins and you're dumping them in the station and all that stuff like that. I said you just go on there and you just add it. It adds it in seconds. And also not having like if you're going through the turnstile at the train stations, just tap your phone because everyone has their phone in their hand all the time. I said it streamlines your process so much more. And I said you won't regret it. And so, this person went to Japan and they came back and they said that was the single best piece of advice that anyone gave me about going to Japan because it made so many more things so much more convenient. And with the increase of how much they're going to add on it, it's just going to make it so much easier. So, so easy.
Well, like, even, like, restaurants, when Sam and I were going out for, like, the skewered chickens and meats and things, or we're out at a bar, and I was literally just like, I'll pay, I'll pay. And it's just like, that's like, again, it's not real.
Money bag.
If you've learned anything, throw all your money on that, and it can't go wrong.
We got Scrooge McDuck over here.
I'm only
Yeah,
like that in Japan. Here, I'm eating Kraft macaroni and cheese for dinner. You gotta suffer to be able to enjoy later on. No, gentlemen, like I said, I'm extremely, extremely thankful to have you both on. And I say, like, I'll shoot out some things for when you're all free again, so we could try to hook back up again. I would love if you both don't mind, because I think the sumo do, sumo don't. And for those of you listening, watch it as well, and then blame anybody but me if it's bad. And
So
you
mad
could,
at you that you don't like, what was it Hurricane Club or,
yeah, it's not good, buddy. It's not good. I know.
David, did you find that thing that you were looking for? We gotta
yes, yes,
yeah,
I
let
did.
talk about that,
Thank
David.
you. So yeah, I have to refresh myself with the trailer, but I'll watch that after. But the movie is called Nobody Knows. Have you seen it, Maurice?
Mm-mm.
Sounds like really. So it was released in 2004. So I'll let people do their like look up a trailer on it. Well, it looks pretty good because I had the post that I found on Instagram. The guy
Yeah,
who does it.
I've seen the trailers and things. Have you
Okay.
seen it, David? I've not watched it yet.
I've watched it from the guy's post, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that looks like a pretty good, decent movie," because it's a very interesting topic type of thing. So yeah. Oh, it looks like a good watch. So I'll let you guys
It's
watch
definitely
the.
not gonna be, I don't believe that's gonna be a feel-good movie, but it is one that I wanna see. It's also like people that search for that also search for Shoplifters
Mhm.
Yep,
and
you know what?
Monster, and those are not feel-good movies, but they're
Yeah, I
fantastic
Googled it,
movies.
I
Yeah,
immediately vibe, and Monster is heavy. That
Yes.
movie is heavy.
Yeah. No, it's and if you've listened to this far, like David, I want to get sorry, my ADD is kicking in.
no, no,
Really
go for it.
quickly, for all of you that hopped on, we're on Riverside, but for all of you that hopped on and said at Riverside do better, I'm thankful for you because you got me my $250 back.
Yeah,
Because
what
I
happened
could
with that? What
Nice.
yeah, tell me
so
about that.
so let me just say, Riverside, for those of you that record on it, I do because it's so easy and I've been using it for years. And I do like the service. However, um, the chat for them is just AI. And then you're supposed to get a real person that they file it. The AI files a ticket, and then you're supposed to get an email back from a real person. Except for, gentlemen, I'm pretty sure. I'm going to say, let me take that back. I don't want to be sued. Um, I think it might be possible, potentially, that their email responses that were always in different names might be AI as well,
Allegedly.
because
Yeah,
allegedly,
yeah, allegedly, that's the word for
AI.
it.
Thank you, because they never responded to my response to their question. So, Maurice, they're like, "Hey, we see you filed a complaint that you want to get a refund." And it was really like, those things when you're going to pay for something yearly or monthly, and they have that little toggle switch that's there. Well, that toggle switch allegedly looks like it's on monthly, even though it's yearly, right?
No,
And I've been on monthly for years, so why would I switch to this? There's like no indication that that's the case, allegedly. And I went through, they billed me this $250, and all these responses that are coming back are like allegedly AI. And because they not listening to my response, their only thing they're getting is feedback from the AI help ticket. So no matter the fact that I was saying, "Hey, I want to be monthly and I want your pro service, refund my money," they're like, "Hey, before we can do this, we need you to answer this question." I'm like, "I've answered this question 4 times, right? It's nothing new, but you're not getting to me." So then we hopped on, all of you listeners and people on the Instagrams and past guests, and I finally got someone that was real from
I know I
their
put like, "Boo."
Instagram. They're like, "We'll look into this ourselves." and then I got my refund. So thank you all. It was huge. 250 bucks is a ton of money. Um, the holidays coming up, and that money needed to go elsewhere. But yeah, and I was part of their. I'd been with them so long that they had a $20 tier that is no longer available, and
Uh,
I've allegedly they may not tell you that when you switch from that plan to the $20 plan to the more expensive pro plan, that you can't go back. That might
Oh
be
no.
allegedly too. But so, yeah, there's a lot of things. If I didn't think that similar services might allegedly be the same as this, I think I'd switch. But again, I've been here for so long. I've had all my recordings and things on here. I was
does
just
it
going
do
to have to,
hosting? Does it host your recordings?
yes, host the recordings, and all my recordings are on. It helps with editing. It does an amazing group of things. But please, my friends, if you are indeed somehow listening to our recording, just please get some people along with your AI. AI can be fantastic, but you don't want to lose people that have been with you for years because of trying to save some money. That's all. That's all. And David, I'm sorry for cutting you off. You
No,
had your
it's fine.
movie. I had movies. I'm still pushing for Sumo Do Don't Sumo.
Hmm.
So nobody knows, and then Sumo do, Sumo don't, and Sumo do and Sumo don't is on Amazon streaming, right? I think I looked at that. I saw
It's
that.
gonna be on Amazon and it's gonna be Apple. It's gonna be like it's not digitally out yet, even though the movie is out. And it has been out in the past.
Hmm.
So it is going to be coming out. And like I said, we'll shoot for a time. So we'll watch David's movie, which isn't gonna be as good as mine, but we'll do it because I love you, David. And then we'll come together and you guys could all lambast me about how horrible my movie is and how wonderful David's was.
Oh, one last thing. I have
Yes.
Who
a I
knows?
have a confession to make.
What's
I
that?
have not watched Baby Assassins 3 yet, and I'm gonna do that this weekend. And then also, nobody knows. I'm gonna look and see if I can find a Blu-ray of that, and I'll just buy it now.
Hell yeah.
Nobody know.
As long
Come
as
on,
nobody's
yeah.
yeah,
Well,
as
I,
long as
I also have a confession to make.
what's
I've
that?
not watched Baby Assassins 2.
It's
It's
I would
good, it's
say
good.
I'd say they were all good. I liked Baby Assassins 3 better in some ways than Baby Assassins 2, except for I feel that, like, a Baby Assassins movie for me is perfect at an hour and a half. Anything more than an hour and a half is a bit long for me personally, for what the movie is. I love all
Mm.
3. I've watched them all multiple times. I will watch them all multiple times again, but an hour and a half, I feel is like
Did
that
you rank
sweet
them in
spot.
order of your favorite?
I think I go 1, 3, 2.
Okay.
But my son says that 2 he enjoys more than 1. So his
Really?
is 2, 1, 3. That
What?
was yes, yes, yes. That was not the case for me, but for him, he said that he was 2, 1, 3. So
Did he say what?
just the story itself, we didn't go too deep into it. It was kind of like, that conversation in passing, in between Cubs games and things like that. And right now we're full in on the Patriots being 9-2, and looking like they have a new Tom Brady and looking like they're legit again.
Did
But
you ever
yeah,
see the Baby Assassins TV show?
I have not yet.
Okay.
And I was wondering if that was going to be on that one Japanese streaming service that I paid for and still haven't watched any of.
That's the way it goes.
That's the way it goes. But yeah, so 2 movies for next time. If you're listening to this and you've made it this far, you can join along with us. Well, that'll be the next go of our things. And for those of you that have listened to this, I'm going to be doing a giveaway on Instagram. If you, in your post on Instagram, put made it this far on the Good Times episode, that might give you a double entry into that. I'm going to be giving away, gentlemen, the Okinawa issue of Popeye that I got for like 50 bucks. You don't have to get it for 50 bucks. I will ship it to you media mail. But say you got this far and listened to this episode, I'll give you 2 entries for the price of 1. Okay.
Nice.
David, Maurice, anything else, my friends? Otherwise, I'm just going to take us out and we're going to be just out under that hour that you said you had free, my friend.
I got nothing right now.
David, besides being a handsome guy, you good, my friend?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Excellent.
Most probably next episode, I'll most probably let you know how I go in the regions.
Yeah, that's
But yeah, good luck on that, man.
I'm
Good
hoping I
luck.
don't get taken out in the first round because I'll be talking up a game and that happens and I'm like, oh, no,
I just want to see pictures of you in a limo coming back. That's all, my friend.
that'd be nice. Awesome.
Well, you know, but on behalf of Lost Without Japan and the entire crew, I'd like to thank you all for joining all three of us here today. We look forward to seeing you on board again for our next regularly scheduled episode as we continue our discussions on Japan, travel, culture, and your Lost Without moments. To everyone out there, oh ginky day, stay well, my friends.